All right, I'm a little bit early, so we'll wait and see who pops in. Hi, Diane. Can you hear me okay? I'm sitting really low because I'm on my little chair here. I'll sit on my knees. Let me know if you can hear me, please. You can? Perfect. How are you feeling, Diane? Are you watching or are you going to be sewing today? Oh, I know what I got to do. Might help if I have my pattern up. Where is it? Hi, Kathy. How are you? Are you going to be sewing with us today? Diane is sewing. Glad you're feeling better. So Diane is going to be sewing with us today. You are sewing tonight, Kathy? Perfect. Almost forgot. I need there we go. My pattern on the screen. See my bomb.com back here? Did you guys see the tutorial is posted? We're going to do the January draw tonight as well. Hi, Dawn. I know you're just watching because you're still waiting for your stuff to come. Coco says hi. Yeah, it's a really quick sew. I mean, it's not... I really missed putting foam in it. I'm not one that really likes using just like deckable light or what have you, but... Oh, Frankie, your arm's still in a cast. How long is it going to be in a cast for? The torture. But you sewed a bag. I'm impressed. 2 more weeks? Oh, dear. Well, it's good you're dropping in anyways, because we're going to do the January draw tonight. Probably wait till about 10 after so to see if we can get more people in. Sorry, I'm sitting so low. My drafting chair's over there, but I'm going to be sitting in this chair mostly today. So my table is so high, so my computer's extra high. Hi, Linda. Sounds good. I don't know if we'll get to the overlays today, but we will see if we do. We'll see how far we get. But it will be either this week or next week. Happy happy to have you here anyways. Tonight I will be super happy if we get through the flaps and the flap and all the pockets involved with that. So hopefully that, and hopefully the front and back exterior pieces. Frankie, if friends cutting out patterns for you, I hope they do it right. Dave has always offered to cut for me, but I don't know. I don't know if I trust him to. He'd actually probably be better at it than me. I should probably let him, but I think he just says it knowing I will say no thank you. So oh, Diane's gonna come and sew for you, Frankie. Isn't that nice? Too bad we didn't all live closer together and we could all get together in person for these classes. That would be a lot of fun. Well, maybe we'll get to the lining pockets too. Maybe I can switch things around. I'll do my best, Linda. We'll see if we can get them done. I can even try to get them done. We could always try to start the class with that today. That could be fun. Go a little bit out of order. Now, for today's class, what camera view do you guys want? Do you want it needle side so you can see what my needle's doing, or do you want it from the front of the machine? Yeah, Diane, you're right. We wouldn't get any work done, I'm sure. Well, Linda, do you know what? I think I'm going to start with those today. We'll start with those today, and they won't take very long to do. I better make sure my iron is on, because we are going to need that. So if we can get those panels done and then the flap done, I'll be super happy. So I promised you I would do them live, so I will do it. And we will need it for sure to get things going. So this bag goes together actually exactly like a pouch. Did you get everything all cut out okay, Linda? No questions from anybody? So yeah, this class will be a little different. I know normally this class we would usually do exteriors, and then the next class we would do linings, and the last class we put it all together, but we're going to be kind of all over the map just because it's not one of those bags where you build the exterior first and then you build the lining and then you put it together. It's different. So we're going to give it about 5 minutes or so to see if we get more people in, because I am going to do the December VIP of the month draw. Oh, did I ask? Yeah, I did ask. Which view do you guys want my camera to be? Like we used to have it all the time, or do you want it to be this way towards my needle? Just so I know which camera to have set up. Change your fabrics? Oh my goodness. Yeah. And here I changed my fabrics for the Blanche, and I found the perfect green today at the fabric store. Oh, Frankie says, come on down in Florida. Frankie, Diane is in Florida right now. She lives in Canada, but she flies south for the winter. She's in Florida. I wonder if you guys are by each other. How cool would that be? Diane's going to be, uh-oh, I told her I would sew for her, and now she's probably my next door neighbor. Hi, Wanda. Wanda, are you sewing along with us today? Diane's in, what does that say, Ormond Beach? I'll be in Florida with Anna next September. We're going to go to Sew Expo, so Magical Expo. That's going to be fun. Wanda's just watching. Okay. And Frankie says, really, Diane? I'm in Venice Golf, dude. Did you mean to say dude? If you did, that's super cute. That would be hilarious if you guys are close. Hi, Lauren. Are you sewing along with us today? Golf side, not dude. I like dude. That was funny. Fabric I bought for the Blanche bag. I'll show. Where is it? So remember I was going to do that orange, and then I noticed that there was green in the fabric. Sorry to those who are not in the class. So see the green in there? So now instead of the orange, this is the lining for the green. It's really hard to see on camera, but it's almost exactly the same. So I'm super excited for it now. So yeah. Can you see? Where's my camera? Can you see? The green is like exactly the same. So I think that is going to pop really, really nice. Instead of that orange. I'm going to have to save the orange for something else now, especially because I've cut it out. Unless I make another Blanche bag and use that orange. Maybe I'll do that. I could always do that, make a third Blanche bag. And I do love green. Green is my favorite. Hi, Kim. Are you sewing along with us today? Yeah, I went to just the fabric store that's just a couple blocks from me. It's a small little local place called Heather's Fabric Shelf, and then I ended up staying there over an hour visiting with Heather. That's okay. I needed a sewing break today till class anyways, I guess. Been working hard. You hear my iron heating up. Yeah, I think that was a good choice. I think the orange would have just been too much orange. And when we noticed that pop of green in that batik, I just think it's going to be perfect. I couldn't get it out of my head. Okay, Kim, that's fine. You know you can always ask questions even if you're behind us, and I'll answer them, right? Couple more minutes, and then we're going to do the January VIP of the month draw. I've got it all loaded up as long as it stayed where it's supposed to be. I always lose my mouse from one screen, there it is, to the other. I'll just double check it's all intact. Sure is. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was going to go live today, but because I'm going live tomorrow, I don't want to be cluttering up everybody's feeds with just a bunch of lives. So tomorrow I want to 100% focus on Galaxy Customs new line drop. So that's exciting. That's at 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, noon Eastern Standard Time. And Anna, who is in this class and is the owner of Galaxy Customs, is her new line drops at the exact same time. We'll be going live, so you can shop. It'll be like a shop and show type thing. I think it's all gonna go really, really fast. She's got jelly vinyls, which is amazing because we don't have them in Canada. She does ship to the US. And she's got some new suede-like vinyls. I'm excited. Hi, Jade. How are you? Are you sewing along with us today? Jade, I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever. My iron is really noisy. I actually think I'm wearing it out, to be honest. Starting to leak now. Using it nonstop since last spring, so... Kim, are you at work? No, I guess you're home because you're going to sew. Aw, Jade. Well, you know, you can always shoot me a message on Facebook if you need a friend. I'm always a good listener or reader. No judgment ever. I'm here for you if you need it. Okay, give it till 10 after, so 1 more minute, and then we're going to do this draw, and then we're going to get sewing. So we are going to start with the lining panels today because I promised Linda I would do, because I haven't done it in a long time in the classes, actually showing how I do the lining pockets like I do in all of the bags and like we do here. So we're going to start with that by prepping our lining panels, and then we will start on our flaps. So I'll be really happy if we get the lining panels and the flaps and maybe the front exterior done today. Aw, Kim, if you need an ear, you know how to get a hold of me too. Hugs to everybody. Okay, who's ready for the draw? Are we ready to do the draw? Let's do this. Okay, let me just find where my mouse is. Anna would be laughing at me. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm not going to be able to, oops, I would have been able to see it on my phone, but my phone went to sleep. There we go. Oops, I don't want my hear my own voice. Okay, so I can see the chat on my computer. Okay, so let me share my screen. I just woke up from a nap. I feel really, really weird. Okay, desktop sharing. Okay, so I have everybody's names on there, and here we go. This is for January's VIP of the month. Come on. And our winner is Irene. Irene is our VIP of the month. So when you see this, Irene, make sure you shoot me a message and we'll get you that $25 gift card to your place of choice. Yay! Whoops. That's not what I want. There we go. So Irene. I don't think Irene is in here today. Congrats, Irene. I think she's won it before too. Lucky, lucky lady. So yeah, I think these draws, I will probably keep them and doing them in the Thursday lives. I'm going to try to actually do them the first Thursday class of the month so I get more on a schedule, because I just feel like I'm getting so far behind on them. So, because we just did the December one not too long ago. So, yeah. So rather than doing it on the public side, because then on the public side I have to explain what it all is, I will congratulate the person on when I do a live, but otherwise I think I'll keep it just for the members here for us to do the draw. Sound good? And then then you guys can remind me to do it on that Thursday so I don't keep forgetting, because I do keep forgetting. But yay, Irene. Okay, let me move stuff around and get into sewing stages. All right. Okay, so nobody answered me. Where do you want my camera view to be? Do you want this one? Tell me if this is a good view, or if you want it like we usually do from the other side. So camera view 1, and it's going to go black for a moment. Or camera view 2. 1 or 2. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna sneeze. I mean, for certain things, I'll flip back and forth, but which one would be good? The first one? Like one you can see a little bit better, hey? Yeah. Okay. View 2. Okay, we will go back and forth between the two. I can also do, just takes a little bit more finagling, or would you, oops, come on, grab it, hold on, why didn't you take it? Okay, give me a second here. There we go. Or I can do this view where you can see both. It just takes a couple pushes of buttons for me to do it. So I can show both at the same time with this view. So, or view 3. We'll call this one view 3. This one kind of gives the best of all worlds, but the needle is bigger. Needle view. You guys tell me what works best. The view 3, this third one. 3. Three. Okay, so we'll stick to 3. And if you guys need me to change at any time, let me know. So I started using this blue 3 more in the tutorial that I just did for thebomb.com. So you guys will have to let me know what you think. Now it just will take a little bit of me pressing some buttons to change. Because I can only have so many things running at the same time. I don't have very much bandwidth. Let's make sure. Ooh, and then I might have to adjust my camera every now and again. All right. So we'll start with 3. If you guys need me to change it, please do let me know. All right. Okay. Well, let's shake things up a little bit. And of course, I haven't cut anything out of my interfacings because I was lazy. We're going to pull out all of our lining stuff, and we're going to do the lining stuff first. I've already done my edge coating, of course. Let me just clean up my lining pieces. And I'm going to show all the new people how we do, well, how we do the overlays for our pockets. Let me just kind of clear all of this out of the way. How is the light? Is the light good? It's all easy. It's just a matter of me remembering to press the buttons. Okay. Let me just clean up my interfacing quickly. I never remember to do this. It's because I like to let my interfacings set before I do anything with them. And then I forget about them until I actually start sewing, which really isn't a big deal when I'm just sewing by myself, but sorry. So yeah, you guys are kind of my test subjects for different views as I learn more about my program for the tutorials. But I think kind of switching between the 3, depending what it is, works out really good. Okay, almost there. Sorry. Okay. There we go. And I got to do all these too. Okay. So my slip pocket, I'm doing a little bit different this time because I did do it in 2 pieces rather than 1. So I'll explain what we usually do and then what I'm going to do. as soon as I get them all cleaned up. Oh, Brandy, Brandy, Brandy. I think almost everybody does it this way, don't they? The way I do it. You're more than welcome to do it as per the pattern. If you are going to be putting a clear zipper pocket on the lining, like the pattern, instead of doing what I'm doing, you'll just repeat exactly what we do when we do the flap zipper pocket. So I'll be showing you how to do that. And the slip pocket style that she has, I don't like it myself, so that's why I'm doing this one. Plus I want to have Alice on the inside. I sometimes like bringing some of the outside into the inside of the bag, just to tie it all together. Okay, so we're going to do a bunch of table work, and then we're going to do it all at the machine. I'm going to show you guys my process of doing the linings all at once, okay? All right, so we have our overlays. So we're going to grab one of our fabrics first, find the top and bottom centers. Oh, did you guys want to see my bomb.com first? So this is the class, this is the one I did in the tutorial. It's, see, there's no foam in it. Like, it's pretty slouchy, but I mean, it keeps the bag nice and light for a craft bag or whatever, which is good. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like underneath the flap. So where we have our rolls. So this is the zipper pocket I'm talking about. This zipper pocket here in the pattern is what they do in the lining, and you just repeat exactly what we do with this one. And the slip pocket, actually this slip pocket is pretty much how we do these slip pockets too, so it's really not learning very much more there. And then we have our fold over elastic. The only thing I did wrong, I didn't really do it wrong, but I opted to do zipper tabs on the side, just because for a pouch style bag it's a lot easier to turn it so you don't get as ugly of a side. Like, you get more pointed like this. But I cut my zipper to 13 inches, and I think we could have went 13.5 inches. So I'm going to do a different zipper size in the class, because it just left a little bit of a too big of an opening there for me, but it still works. It is a decent size bag. Like, this is my hand. I've got little teeny tiny hands. See? This is what it looks like. So, and I think I have this one potentially sold, or somebody is going to be custom ordering one. So, okay, I squirreled a little bit there. Oops, I was finding my centers. It's a really fun sew though. Like, I really enjoyed doing this pattern. I mean, I just did it yesterday, so. Okay. So we're going to work on this part of the overlay first. I'm just going to double check my measurements for this, where I'm going to put it. Let me look at the pattern quickly. I think I did it at 2 inches. I did it just slightly higher than she said in the pattern. You'll notice the pattern doesn't have a lot of pictures. It's mostly written out. So, the top of the main line. Yes. Okay. So first thing we want to do is, she did it 2.75 from the middle top. I did 2.5. And I know that my overlay is 9 inches, so I've marked my ruler at the 4.5 mark, so I know that that is nice and centered. So whatever size your overlay is. Then I'm going to take some double-sided tape. If your machine doesn't like double-sided tape, just make sure you're staying away from 1/8 of an inch around the sides and around this box when we do it, and you'll be fine, because then you won't sew through it. So kind of like what I'm doing here, I'm going about 1/4 of an inch away, and we're going to put it on the top and the bottom. Like so. Then we're just going to take the tape off of one end, the top end. Then I'm going to use my ruler to place it. It's not a huge pocket, like it's only going to come to about here. Sure it's nice and centered. Okay, so that's all stuck down, and to get this other part to stick down good, you just remove the tape off the other end. And then let it fall naturally, and it goes into place perfectly, just like that. Okay, so now we're just going to put this aside for now, and we're going to prep the other pieces, and then we're going to take them all to the machine at once, just because it's a little bit of sewing. So we'll pop that over there. Next, we're going to work on our zipper part of it. So you want your zipper. This is for the zipper part. We're going to attach it. You want it to be about, well, usually what I do is I use this to decide. I think that's 9 inches. So I'm just going to go there. Kind of do it from this end to this end for the length of your zipper. You're better to be too long than too short. Kind of wish I had a baby pink, but I have baby pink zipper. It works fine. It's going to be all sorts of shades of pink. Okay. And then put your zipper pull on. I'm using my handy dandy fork, just like I always do. Most of you are probably just going and doing it at your own speed with this. I know you all know how to do it already, except for the few new ones who we're doing this for. So Linda, if you have questions, please do stop me. Okay, so I'm going to put this one aside for now. We're working on this. Okay, which pieces am I grabbing? Okay, then we want to grab our zipper lining pieces. Now you can use clips here. I use double-sided tape. So I have my lining panel, one of my lining panels right side up, and I'm going to put tape along one top side of that. Okay. And along the other one, just one side. So we'll do the zipper pocket first, and then we'll do the slip pocket later so we don't get all confused. Okay, and then just on one of them, we're going to just pull the tape off, and you're going to put your one side of your zipper tape right side up as well. It doesn't matter which way the pull goes at this point, and stick her down or clip it down like so, and just take this one with you over to the machine at the same time. Okay, so we're going to do some sewing now. Let me switch my camera angles. This will just take a moment, because I got to switch my cameras around. Okay, so that's one. I try to turn this. There we go. Look good? Okay, so for this part, especially if you're on an industrial machine, I really want to check to make sure my tension is good, so my top stitching looks good along the top here. So I'm just going to take a piece of the same vinyl and fold it in half, because it'll be about a double thickness. I'm just going to check to make sure my top stitching is going to look really, really nice. There's nothing worse when your tension is off and you have stuff poking through like I do now. My tension is too tight, so I need to loosen it. I don't know if I ever had problems with tension really on my domestic machines, but I constantly have to check them when I change thicknesses on my, on this one, on my industrial. Let's see. Looks good to me. Okay. So as you guys know, I like to pull my threads long because I don't like having that back stitch look in my top stitching. I've set my industrial at a 6.5. If I remember correctly, on my domestics, I top stitched at a 4 or a 5. But top stitch at whatever your top stitch is that you like. So I'm going to hold my threads back like so. I guess this does kind of show you what I do, because you don't want it to get sucked in and underneath there. but we aren't going back and forth. So have them long because we're going to need them to tie off. Start your stitching, and after a few stitches you can let go. I'm going to double check. I'm going to loosen it up just a little bit more, my tension. You probably see me doing that in my videos. And good. Needle down to pivot. So we're just going along the outside edge of everything to hold that in place. Needle down. While I'm over here, you're going to see it on the other view here. Here's my bobbin thread right here from when I started. I'm going to give it a little bit of a pull, and it's going to bring the loop of my top thread, and I am going to pull my top thread through. Say that 10 times fast. So I can tie those off later on, so it's no longer on top. How's my tension doing? Much better. Okay. Pivot around. Pivot around. So for everybody that has been in the group a long time, when I noticed that we have quite a few people that have joined, I think we got 5 new people this month. So I will probably, when I get a big number like that, show how I do this every other class or something like that, like when we do it. Hi, Anna. Okay, so as I'm coming towards where I started, I want to make sure that my needle ends in that very first stitch hole. So I usually go about 2 stitches away, and then I hand crank because I have more control over where my needle's going to go. So I'm putting it right down in that first hole. I'm going to pull it away. I'm going to hold onto my threads so I know which one is my bobbin thread, because it gets confusing when you have all those threads in the back. Okay, and then I know this bottom one is my bobbin thread. I'm going to give it a yank to bring up the loop, which is going to pull that top thread through, like so. And then I'm going to tie those 4 threads in 3 or 4 knots. And what that does is it secures it, and it makes it so we don't have that buildup of thread from back stitching when we start and stop. And we have a nice continuous line on our top stitch overlays. You really like this view, Wanda? Does this work? Is everybody in consensus? Is this a view that I should constantly have going on my tutorials, do you think? Except for when you really can't see what I'm doing from one view, probably. Okay, so next, I'm not changing into my zipper foot here. You don't have to worry about that for this because we're only going to base this on with 1/4 of an inch. I actually go down to a lower stitch length, a sewing stitch length for it. So I'm going to back stitch here, go all the way across. Yeah, Wanda, I'm learning lots about my new recording software and the views. I can only have 4 cameras running at the same time though, so that's why I have to press buttons to switch between the views. It's pretty easy when I'm on like doing the tutorials because people don't see me switching, but you guys will see it sometimes as I have to finagle it. Okay, so that's one side done, and now we want to do on the opposite side, so we're kind of flipping it out like this. Okay, and we're going to put this side, both right side up against that other lining panel, making sure that these are even. Okay. It does help quite a bit being able to show what I'm doing at the machine though, so this is good. Okay, so it's like this, and now we're going to sew down that other side. So you have your lining panels right sides together. squeaking. All right, now I gotta go change my camera views again. Give me a moment. So we're gonna lose one of them so I can gain another one. So I can do this. And it goes bright for a moment until I readjust. There we go, just like that. Okay. Is everybody good if I just go through? Are you guys all kind of doing this together, I guess? Next, I'm going to take my zipper panel or my zipper lining pieces and I'm going to open them up like this. And I'm going to go ahead to my iron and I'm just going to give this a quick press flat. So we have the zipper right side up. Oh, hi, Susan. Can you show what side of the zipper is to the pocket lining? Yes, it's right here. So the zipper, when you're sewing it on, they are both right sides up. So once you have them together, sewn on, and you open it up, you will have your lining panels wrong side up because of that seam, and then your zipper panel will be right side up, and then you give that a press. Does that make sense? So before you sew on again, you are sewing them both right side up, the zipper and the lining piece right side up. And then once they're sewn on, I know it's confusing at first, when you open them up and fan them out, because of how the seams pop it out, the zipper will be right side up and your lining panels will be wrong side up, which is exactly what we want. So you know if you've done it right, because if you open your zipper a little bit, when it's right side up, you're going to see the right side of the lining. I put my overlay 2.5 inches down, Kim. Okay, so I'm going to go give this a quick press. All right. Susan, are you sewing along with us today? Susan. Any questions about that so far? And because I use a bonded thread, I'm just going to take my knot and just melt it a little bit just to secure that so it doesn't fray. Okay, perfect. So Susan, let me know when you're ready for me to move on. Linda is watching, but I want to be able to show you how we do this. So I'm so glad you spoke up. I didn't even know you were in there. How excited is Anna for tomorrow? She's going to be on my YouTube channel, showing all of her pretty new vinyls. I'm excited. Is it really quick? Oh, good. I'm like a ninja, hey? Now, your opinion, having the double view like that, do you think that's best for tutorials as well? Except for the times where like I'm sewing and you can't see one side from the front or what have you, but Susan's ready? Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to take our overlay piece. This is going to look scary. Now you can take your scissors in here and just pinch it if you want. Cut. I'm going to take my rotary cutter. I'm not going right to the end. I'm just going to start my cut like that. So you can see I didn't go all the way to the end. See? And then I'm going to go in with my scissors. And what we're trying to do is see on the back here, we're wanting to cut away this excess fabric. So it helps if you go into that slit and you cut kind of into V's like when we make a pocket, but don't go past the stitching. You're not cutting the overlay, you're just cutting the fabric behind the overlay. I'm going live at 9 a.m. My time, Pacific time, and noon Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Time. The products launch on her website at the same time we go live. So the whole idea of it is like a show and shop. But my gut feeling is saying she's going to sell out so fast. So, yeah, I'm going to have to be, I'm going to be in YouTube as well as trying to shop myself. So I'm going to have 2 screens going because I want to get some in. I won't hog it all, I promise. I'll just take my share. There's about 3 colors I want for the Wayfarers, so I'm hoping to get them. Okay, so now that we have that, does that make sense, Susan? Awesome, Wanda. Okay, so then you can see how we kind of have, Coco says hi, see how we have the V and everything? And you can see the overlay underneath is completely fine. So just go ahead and cut that fabric back, but don't go past the stitching. We just want to cut it back to reduce that bulk and remove some of this so we can install the zipper lining. This is my favorite way of doing a zipper pocket. It's just seamless and you don't have the lining fabric poking through if you don't get a really good cut. I just love this. I don't know what she's barking at. Okay. So this side does not have to be pretty. Nobody's going to see it. But look how nice that looks. Woo. Okay, so Susan, let me know when you're there and then we will move to the next step. Oh, heaven forbid somebody walk their dog across the sidewalk, Cocoa Beans. So I can say we probably won't have homework any of these classes, I don't think. Unless you're catching up from the classes. You ready? Okay. So now on the back of this, again, you will want to use double-sided tape. You can hold it in place if you like, but I can't do it. I'm not talented enough. So if you're using double-sided tape, your machine doesn't like it, again, just make sure you're staying away from where we will be top stitching at that 1/8 inch and put it in about 1/4 of an inch in. Like so. Right along just the top and bottoms of that open triangle or open rectangle. Again, it doesn't have to look pretty or perfect here. Nobody's going to see this side. Okay. Now this is where you're going to take your zipper panel. You want to make sure you have your zipper pull closing to whichever direction you like it. I like mine to close to the left. If you're right-handed, you may like yours to close the opposite way. Just make sure it's going the right way. So mine's going to the left. I'm going to take the tape off of just the top. And the ends of my zipper tape here, I'm going to feel and get them to line up with the ends here. And then I know it's nice and centered. That's why I cut it to that same length. So we're just going to work with the top of the zipper right now and get it in place. So when I feel my zipper tape is about where I want it to be, I can control with that tape where I'm placing this so I get a nice and even amount of my zipper tape showing through. And then you know it's nice and straight. See how even that is along the top there? I'm sure your BFF Hannah would probably put some aside for you if you ask her. She knows you are good for it. But that's not fair to everybody else. But I know she would probably. Okay, so then when you have that side done there, you can flip this up here, take the paper off the back of this side of the tape, and you're going to do the same thing and kind of control where you want it to sit so your zipper tape is nice and even. See? Just like that. See how even my color is in between there? And then it doesn't end up being all whoo like this. Okay? So let me know when you're done there and then we will go and finish this off. I'm not used to working with colored zipper tape. I usually only use black, so this is kind of fun. I'm not sure where I got these from. I don't know if it was from Blue Calla or Emmeline Bags, this colored zipper tape. One of the two. Oh, cocoa beans. So yeah, so if everybody wants to show and shop with us tomorrow, have both websites up. We are all of her, aren't we? Are all of her friends? Absolutely. That's funny. I'm excited. Again, she's given a sneak peek on her Galaxy page. There's, Anna, correct me if I'm wrong, there's like those luxe vinyls. They're almost like a suede-like type vinyl, right? And then jelly vinyl. I don't know what I think about jelly vinyl yet because I have no idea what it is. So I'll probably just get a little bit just to test it out. And if she sells out, she is going to be doing a pre-order right away as well. And I think the turnaround time is pretty fast. Like you'll have it beginning of March. But again, Anna, chime in. Can't wait to meet everybody. Chime in if I've got it wrong. She's got like these leopard print ones. I don't know if that is jelly vinyl or if that is luxe suede. I don't know. So it's like a suede vinyl. Yes. I'm excited. Jelly roll is my jelly vinyl. Gotcha. All friends, but Anna is my best friend. And do you know what? I loved Anna's vinyls before I knew I loved hers. So I'm not biased about her product. I met Anna by being a customer of hers, and then I became a customer of hers at the beginning of my YouTube journey, and then I had asked her if I could show her product as a mail opening for Canadian suppliers, and then we started talking, and yeah, we've been really good friends for over a year and a half now. So well, best friends for like a year and a half now. The leopards are a holographic fun vinyl. Diane says we should have priority. Galaxy Customs is not attached to my channel in any way. But yeah, she's 100% good. All right, are we ready to move on with this? I keep going all off. I'm obviously super excited about doing a live. Is it St. Patrick's Day tomorrow? No, that's in March, isn't it? Oh, March 17th. Anna's saying, never mind. Okay, so we're going to take this to the machine. You want to make sure your lining panels are fanned up and out of the way of each other. Okay, so we'll be taking it to the machine like so. So again, like a butterfly. And I'm just going to switch my cameras around here. I'm trying to do this flawlessly. I'll turn off this. Okay, there we go. I think I got it figured out. Okay. And then we are going to go around that rectangle, that inside rectangle, exactly like we did with the exterior or the outside part, pulling our threads long to tie them up, but make sure that your lining panels are staying open. Otherwise, you're going to sew your zipper shut, and we don't want to do that right now. Okay. So I'm putting my stitch length up again for my top stitching, pulling my threads long. Oh, Jade, are you going for surgery? You're going to order and then go for surgery? I'm so glad you have your priorities right. Okay, so we're sewing all the way around, and this is going to sew that zipper into place. And again, you can backstitch. I do it this way because it's my preference, because I like to have a nice seamless line around, but there's no wrong or right way of doing it. I'm pretty picky about my top stitching, so. Okay, pivot. And now that I have this starting stitch kind of up and out of the way, I'm going to reach underneath like this and pull that bobbin thread to pull that top thread through. And then continue my merry way. Make sure your needle's down before you move your zipper pull out of the way. If I had my zipper foot on, I probably wouldn't have had to move my zipper pull out of the way. But for these, a zipper foot isn't super necessary. You have enough clearance that it's fine. please keep us posted how your procedure goes, Jade. We'll be thinking of you, but we'll visit with you in the morning first. Okay, and then as I come towards where I had started sewing, I'm going to make sure my needle ends in that exact same starting hole. And again, hand cranking helps you get there. There it is. Pull it, hold onto your thread so you're aware of which one is the bobbin thread we're going to want to pull in order to get that top thread through. Grab that bottom thread. It gets confusing with this one just because you have all these threads behind here. Give it a slight little yank. You'll pull up a loop and that'll pull that top thread through. Double check that it's seamless, and it is. And then go ahead and tie that off. Hi, Donelda. Donelda, it's a good time to come in because we are revisiting how I do my pocket overlays for the linings for all the new people. So I know you already know how to do this, so you've missed absolutely nothing. Except for you will have to, for homework, do your lining pockets. Oh no, Wanda, you've had to pull out your seam ripper here. You clip it, so you apply clips or pin it so you don't accidentally have them flop down. I get that. Okay, trim that off, and then I'll take you back to the table and change my camera views. We did do the VIP of the month draw, and our winner this month was Irene. Irene isn't in here today, so I will be contacting her. I'm going to change my view here. Take you back to my table. All right, and again, because I'm using a bonded thread, I'm just going to melt my knot just to make sure it doesn't fray. Okay, so this is what we have, and your zipper should open and close. Good. Okay, let me know when you are there, Susan and Linda. Is this making sense what I'm doing? Yeah, we'll be doing the slip pocket next, and then we will be starting to work on the flap. This bag isn't as involved as most bags, so it's kind of nice so we can revisit these old skills that we have learned, and then the new people have a chance to learn them as well, because we don't do these every class. Linda's got it. So yeah, we got 5 new people in the class for this month, so I definitely wanted to revisit this. When it's 1 or 2, I usually will contact them one-on-one and we will go through it, but I figured it was enough this time that we could revisit this. No problem, Linda. Do you know what? It is really good because I don't think we have revisited this probably since last spring, which is overdue. I'm thinking that I should revisit it more, so I'm really glad that there are all of you new people in here that's keeping me on track, so I do revisit this, and it's good review for everybody else as well. And anybody that's sewing along will just kind of go at their own speed and get her done. And again, this isn't a super involved bag to make, so it's the perfect bag to revisit how I do all this because they aren't in the pattern. Okay, so now that we have this done, flip this upside down. And we're going to bring our lining pockets right sides together like so. And you are going to notice there is excess on the bottom here. Go ahead and even them up along that bottom. Now one thing we want to do is we want to make sure we leave this bottom for turning. So I'm going to right now flip this back over, and we are going to pull the side over just to reveal our pocket there, okay? I can see I did my cutting a little bad here, so I'm just going to even up those pockets. Be very careful not to cut your exterior. Okay, so we're going to take some clips, working on the side, because we're going to close up this side. But when we get to the bottom where the opening is, we're going to fold it up. I could have cut it a little bit better here. One sec. We're going to fold it up about 1/2 inch like this, okay? And trust me, you'll see what this means once we get further. This is just to save us having to fold over those raw edges later on. And just put a clip at the bottom here. Go around to the other side, because we're leaving this bottom open. Fold it up nice and even. Put another clip there. And then clips up the opposite side. Okay. Then once that's done, now you can see how you can pull this away, and this stitching here doesn't let you go any further. We want to sew down here as close as we can to that stitching without sewing through our exterior. So about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch away from it. So that's going to give us like, I don't know, it's a huge seam allowance. So just kind of go right about here, all the way down, backstitch. I like to backstitch over my zipper teeth too. Again, just, I don't know. I don't know if it does anything, but in my head, it just makes me think that the zipper's going to stay on better, which makes no sense. All the way down, and then backstitch over this folded edge here. We want it to stay folded up, and you want to do it the same on this opposite side. Okay? So let me switch the camera view again. I think I've got her figured out. Okay. So put it to a lower stitch length, and again we are going as usually for my standard foot, if I put it right up against where I have my exterior folded out of the way, because we're only sewing through the lining pocket, that's close enough. Backstitch, and I always backstitch over the teeth. You don't have to, I don't know why I do it. And just go all the way down. This doesn't have to be a super accurate seam allowance. And you can see this is that folded up edge. And I backstitch over that a couple times. Okay? And we're going to do the same on the opposite side. But you'll be starting from the bottom this time, working your way up. Again, folding over or sewing over that folded edge, hold that fold in place, and all the way up. Okay, so let me know when you're all done with that. And I'll take it back to the table. Okay, how do I want to do this? So I'll take this one off, put this one on, and flip back here. I've got her figured out. Okay. So let me know when you're ready, and we'll move on. I will mark that Donalda is here. Donalda, are you sewing with us today? Or are you watching? And Anna, are you watching or sewing with us today? I think you're watching because you just got home from work. And how are you doing, Kim? You're probably just speeding right ahead of us here. Same with Diane. How about you, Kathy? Again, if I ever move too fast, please do stop me and make me explain, because otherwise I'm just going to think everybody's getting it and I'm going to continue through. I do not mind stopping at all. And then if you're not sewing along, you're just watching and you need a little extra help, you can always contact me on Facebook or by email during the week too. I'm in my sewing studio 6 days a week. We'll just say that. You're cleaning up your studio for tomorrow, Anna? Is it a mess? Are we going to get to see Duke and Rev as well? That would be fun. Are you struggling with this, Kim? Aw. All good? Perfect. I hope you guys don't mind the review. I think it's really good. And this is the perfect bag to do review on. How are we doing, Susan and Linda? All clear? All good? Gosh, I think the last time I did this was in the other studio space, and you just wouldn't have had a good visual of it back then. I've already been, March 1st will be 1 year of doing these classes. That's just crazy how fast time goes. Okay, so we're going to move on. We're already an hour in. So next what we're going to do again is we're going to flip up this out of the way, and we're going to trim up that seam allowance on each side to about 1/4 inch. You can cut through the zipper too. Same with the other side. All set? Perfect. Is it making sense, Susan? Are you liking this technique? And then this folded down edge, this is why I do it, because when we go to seal this up later, we have to turn in our raw edges. This makes it so they're turned in already. So if you stick your fingers in and you kind of fold that fold outwards, it presses it all where it needs to go like that. See? So then I just take that to my iron. See how it did that? When you put that fold out, you can pull it nice and tight. You get a nice perfect edge, and then I just take that to the iron and give that a really, really quick press. Diane, were we in the other workspace when you first started? I can't even remember. I think I moved to this space in June. Okay, so that's what we have. Like that, it's all folded under. And if you've done it right, you should have a working zipper pocket with a hole in the bottom. We can put that aside for now. Okay, and then we can work on our slip pocket. Make sure I grab the right ones. So some of you, this will be a different way of doing a slip pocket, because I'm not doing this slip pocket the same as what I usually do, because I didn't have enough length for when we centered this, when I was doing my fussy cutting. So I'm actually having a lining fabric for my slip pocket. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm also going to explain how to do it if you cut this in all one piece, which would have been like 9 by 10, I think it was. Yeah, this is 9. Usually we would cut one continuous piece of 9 by 10. I won't get ahead of myself just yet. I'll wait until Susan gives me the go-ahead. Again, sometimes I just end up, everybody knows, I end up just kind of going full speed ahead. Yeah, originally I was in the hallway, and my washer and dryer were behind me, and I was in the room that Dave and I now, we call our bedroom, because we've got a king size bed in the room that is about the same size as a king size bed. It's pretty bad. Okay, so Susan, did you cut this in 2 pieces, or did you cut this in 1 piece? So I've got 2 pieces here for mine, but usually we cut them in a 9 by 12 or 10 type piece. So if you cut this in 1 continuous piece, you would just fold it in half, pretend this is all 1 continuous piece, like this, and then you would just clip down these sides. Because I cut it 2 separate pieces, I got to clip 3 sides, and I can already tell I cut this really bad. really bad. Is this the right piece? Man, oh man, Brandy, lazy cutting, but that's okay. We'll get her. So I want to keep the top open. So I'm going to be sewing around these 3 sides. You did 2 like me, Susan? Okay, so you want to make sure when you place this, you want to keep this top side open, okay? To make sure you're sewing the wrong side or the right side. So we're going to put them right sides together, and we're going to clip the sides and the bottom, leaving the top open. And you can see my cutting is really bad for my lining piece, but that's okay. It's going to fall within the seam allowance, so I'll catch it. Wanda says the review is good for people that are either new or became a member in the future, especially since there's an ample time to show it all step by step in a class with this bag pen. Exactly, Wanda. This was the perfect pattern to be able to do this. The Blanche, not as much. The Blanche barrel bag is a little bit more involved, and there's some new techniques there that we will be learning. But that's also why the new people might not know this. If you ever want a homework class, you just have to shoot me an email by the Sunday before or the Monday before class, and I will do my homework with you at 1 p.m. my time, so Pacific time, the day of classes. So that's the kind of stuff we can walk through this and do that then. So, but yeah, this bag just worked out perfect for being able to do this. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to stitch around those 3 sides with about a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance-ish. Doesn't have to be exact. Let me switch my camera view. But make sure you do not sew that top. Awesome. I'm so glad that you guys are on board. Oh, let me fix my lighting there. That's the only thing I gotta watch is sometimes when I switch from camera to camera, you can see how that one side, there we go, gets really dark. So I'm gonna sew mine with about a 3/8. Again, this doesn't have to be super perfect. You want it to be nice and straight though. Like that. It's kind of fun starting with the lining panels first too, because we never do the lining panels together. So, okay, let me turn off this camera and switch this one back on. I've got this changing of cameras all figured out. Okay, so let me know when you're ready for the next. And I don't think we've ever done slip pockets like this with the 2 fabrics, so. And he said this bag is actually, again, it is the perfect bag to do this because I did the cutting, the tutorial, the voiceover, the editing of the tutorial, all within 7 hours, where usually it takes me like 3 days. So it just shows you how fast this bag is. So we've got 4 days to work this out. So it's great to be able to slow it down a little bit. So, okay, so now this is what we have. Now on those bottom corners that we sewn, I like to just snip as close, like within a quarter-ish, scant quarter of an inch or so away from those corners. That just helps reduce that bulk so they turn sharper, and then you can go ahead and trim the rest of these seams, not the top, just this bottom and the sides, to 1/4 of an inch-ish. Doesn't have to be exact. You can already see I'm going to be trimming a little bit off the top because I did some bad cutting there, but that's okay. Coco's crying at the door. I think she'd do that on Tuesday too. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then you can go ahead and you can flip this right side out. And make sure you poke out those corners really good. And then take it over to the iron and give it a super, super good press. Now this one, I'm not cutting into 2 slip pockets. We didn't really cut it for that because I don't want to cut up her face. But you can make your slip pockets as long as you like, as long as they fit within the lining panel, and you can split it into 2 if you like. Okay, I'm going to take this over and I'm going to give this a press. It's done. So let me know when you are there. While I'm waiting, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to find my top center. Actually, don't really need to find the bottom centers of the lining ones for this one. Top center is pretty important. Snip. And this is going to be where we see if we have to take a little bit off the top of here. Let's see. Usually not as finicky if you haven't done fussy cutting like I did, but because I wanted beautiful Alice in here, I'm doing some. Oh, Dawn, you caught up on your blanch? Do you want to come and cut my new linings for me? I think I'm going to do another blanch as well. I might do 2 at the same time. I think they're going to sell really well, and because I cut the lining out already. I don't believe it's already 5:15. All right, are we ready to go? So again, we want this to be about 2.5 inches or so down, nice and centered. I'm not worrying about my accent piece just yet because I know I'm going to have to trim off a little bit here. So this is 8 inches. So I'm going to put my 4 there, 2.5 inches. And this is where I'm going to see how my pocket is going into where my bottom is. I don't want that because this is going to be the bottom when it's all folded under, and my pocket's going to be too long. So I do have to trim a little bit off the top. But at the same time, I want to make sure that my binding when I put it on isn't going to be covering her face, but it looks like I'm good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut off about 3/4 of an inch. Straight across. Usually we don't have to do this, but and then test it again. So all lining sizes are different. You can always move the slip pocket up a little bit if need be. Like I think I'm going to move mine up. I don't want to cut any more off, so I'm actually going to move it up to 2.25 inches, and that'll work. Okay, did that make sense? All right, Dawn. I don't know if Lauren will drive you all the way this way. I'm just going to double check that. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, Susan, let me know when you're ready, or everybody let me know when you're ready, and I'll move on. Dave and I are going out for dinner tonight. It's his Friday, and Valentine's Day is next week, so he and I are going to go out for our Valentine's dinner tonight, I think. And then we're going to go to Costco, do our grocery shopping. How romantic. I guess you could take it in from the bottom too if you wanted to. You just have to re-sew that seam. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do our binding. So this is where I edge painted mine. Again, edge painting is always optional. I always do it, but you don't have to. I'm a weirdo that loves it. And I've got a center dash line down the middle. And I'm going to find my thicker double-sided tape. You can use any double-sided tape, but I like to use this double-sided tape. And I'm going to put, you want to keep the double-sided tape away from the long edges if your machine does not like double-sided tape. So put it just below the line and just above the line. I love double-sided tape, as you guys all know. Okay. Then once you have that, you're going to take the bottom paper off of the tape like that. And the binding is going to be longer. That's okay, because we're going to trim it up. And you want to set this along that line nice and straight. And then you're going to take the tape off the top and you're going to fold this over that fabric and you're going to match up the long sides like so. We will be doing this sort of again with our vinyl pockets for the front. I think we'll probably get through, probably be doing the handle next. We'll be doing some prep for next week. So that's what that looks like on both sides. And then we're going to top stitch with about 1/4 inch or so right along this bottom line here. And that should catch, you want to make sure it has caught both sides. So that's why I say go about 1/4 inch, because sometimes these don't line up perfectly, and that way it makes it so you are catching both sides. So I'm going to switch over to the machine because I'm going to have to check my tension because I'm going with a different thickness again, and my industrial is picky with its tensions. Okay. Do it. Yay, kept my lighting. And I want to make sure my tension looks good on both sides because it is, it will show. So I'm going to do a 4-layer thickness for my test. Good on that side. And I got to tighten it up now. This is the joys of an industrial, is the tension. Do you guys all find you have to do that with your industrials? Those of you that do have it, constantly check your tension when you change thicknesses. A little bit more, a little tighter. Almost there. Okay, I'm good. I'm going to sew across there. I guess it's kind of more with the scant. It's in between 1/4 and 1/8 that I do here. Just want to be sure you catch both sides. Oh, is my sound okay now? That's good to know. Thank you, Don. Oh, you never touch yours, Diane? Ah, it's easy. All right. Oops. All right. I think I know why my sound clicks off, because I have my sound attached to my FaceTime camera when it's on. and to the front of my Tiffany camera. And it's my Tiffany camera that I'm turning off and my FaceTime camera I'm turning off. Is it hard to hear me at the sewing machine? Okay, good to know. I don't know why my regular microphone doesn't pick it up. I'm going to try switching different cameras off first. So maybe I'll switch my my right hand side one off. So it'll be mostly a back screen so it sticks with that microphone. It's because of the USB, so. But we're good. Susan, that's right. A good domestic holds your attention really good. Okay. So then once we have that there, you want to make sure it's cotted in the back as well. And then make sure you're not cutting your fabric. You just want to trim away that vinyl. So you want to make sure, because if you cut away the fabric, it's going to fray, and you don't want that to happen at all. So it's just a little bit away from the fabric. Just like that. Okay, so everybody just keep your volume loud and you'll hear me fine. That was one of the reasons I switched to voiceover as well, because depending where I am and how far away I am from my microphone should be picking it up, but with all the USB issues, maybe it's not. So I don't know. But good to know. Thank you for being my guinea pigs. Okay, so that's that pocket done. Now we want to place it. So this is where you can pin it if you like. Again, I just use double-sided tape along the bottom, but definitely you can use pins here because there's no vinyl you're going through. But I always forget to remove pins, so I do this. And what did I say? I was putting this down 2 1/4 center, right? So I have that lined up. So I know that this one is 8 inches long, so I have my center marked up with my 4-inch mark on my ruler, so I can use my ruler for placement. I just did 1 line of sewing, but you can definitely do 2 if you like, Susan. It's completely up to you. But yeah, I just did the 1 line, just along the bottom. But you can do 1 along the top if you like as well. That second line won't be functional, it'll be mainly decorative. So I will wait, Susan, let me know when you're ready, and then we will place this one and finish up our lining panels. So yay, no homework. You're good. Okay, so you've got my ruler all lined up. Again, you can use pins here. I'm using the tape along the bottom. I'm going to use my ruler before I press it down. I'm clearing where my box corners would be, so it's going to fall within good range of my bottom. And when I like where it is, I'm going to press that down and then make sure I am centered for sure. And I'm not. Why is that, Brandy? Why aren't you centered? I don't know why I'm not centered. Holy moly, cocoa beans. I think Brady might be home now. Let's try that again. That's looking better. Okay, and then we're going to top stitch down this side, across here, and up this side. Make sure you back stitch at the top corners. Do not sew across the top, otherwise you will close up that pocket. Okay, I'm going to try something different. You guys tell me if my sound stays okay, all right? Let me see something first. Okay, I got to turn something off first. I hope I don't screw this up. Okay, give me one sec. Oh no. Come on, Tommy. Click on. That did not work. Give me one sec. I mixed up my cameras. Oh, I know why. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm trying to fix something and it didn't do what I wanted it to. So now I'm playing with things. One sec. Okay. Okay, the test now is tell me how my sound is now. Can you hear me better? Let me know if you can hear me better. So I'm still learning all this stuff, so I'm hoping that that fixed the sound. Or maybe I made it worse. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and top stitch. The sound is better that way? Okay. So it's the order I'm changing my cameras that's messing up my sound. Okay. It just means it won't be as seamless because we'll have a black screen for a moment each time. Which is okay. Sound is good? Yay! Thanks guys, you helped me figure it out. Okay. And that's done. I gotta remember which one it was. This one? Yeah. Okay. So we'll get that black screen for a moment. And super brightness here. There we go. And the sound is still good over here? Okay. So it just won't be as seamless. What it is the microphone on my right-hand camera isn't running. And when it comes on first, it goes to that camera. But I don't want to mess with my dominant camera, so that's all right. We got this. Okay, so the only thing for homework, if you decide to do it, because that lining pocket is done, is I like to go and put 2 rivets right in these corners just to help hold them in place, and I make sure I back with some Decavol heavy on the back as well. So you can decide if you want to do that for homework and put those rivets in. But other than that, that is our lining panels done, and we can put them aside. Any questions about that, Linda and Susan? Or did that make sense? Did you like the process? I love doing my linings like this, so. Okay, now I think we're just going to do a bunch of prep work when everybody's ready. We're going to prep our zippers and our zipper tabs. We're doing things in a really weird order today. So if everybody wants to prepare, are we all ready to go? All good? Perfect. Are we ready to move on to our zippers? Now, one thing I did when we were cutting is we cut out 6 of these. I don't know where the other one is, but that's okay. You only need to do 6 of these if you are doing the clear zipper pocket on the lining piece, and I'm not doing that, so all I need is 4. If you're doing the clear zipper pocket instead of the zipper pocket that we did, you are just going to repeat what we're going to do here and the same instructions of what we're going to do when we get to the flap clear zipper pocket. But I'm only doing the one clear zipper pocket because we're done the linings already. So we are going to prep our zippers for next week. So you're going to need, if you're doing just the one zipper pocket on the front, the clear vinyl zipper pocket, you need an 8-inch zipper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And for the top, I did 13-inch in this tutorial, but I think 13.5 is going to be better. I'm kind of hoping, oh, I'm going to have enough. So cut a 13.5 zipper tape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and a half. Okay? And go ahead and put your pulls on those. So we're just going to do the rest of the class with prep work for next week. I hope that's okay with everybody. I don't think it's okay with Coco. She's mad at us. I'm also going to go and turn off my iron because it's making weird sounds. I think it's close to death. I've worn this thing out. Or I just ran it out of water. So it's my steam iron. Okay, so put your pulls on. And then let me know when you have your pulls on. I'm doing these zipper tabs in the pattern. There isn't zipper tabs on the top closure. I'm changing it to zipper tab closure because it has a nicer, I find it easier, and you don't end up getting all this bulked up area from sewing over the zipper tabs. Now on my tutorial one, I did my zippers just slightly too short, so I mean, and it doesn't matter, it's fine, but we're going to make it so it comes a little closer with this one. That didn't go on straight. Try again. And is everybody using vinyl for their zipper tabs? Because what I'm going to show you is only for non-fraying fabric. If you are using fraying fabric, let me know, like a cotton, so I can tell you what you're going to do differently. I really recommend vinyl for zipper tabs, mainly because it's stronger than, say, cotton, so it won't wear away as much as, say, a cotton zipper tab. Okay, so give everybody a couple of minutes. Maybe we'll get to the handle piece today too. I'm doing my handle different as well because in the video there's a lot of raw edge and I don't think it's thick enough for my liking, so we're going to do it a little bit different. Okay, is everybody ready to go? I see some all goods there, but I don't know if they're old all goods or new all goods. So if you guys can give me some new all goods when you're ready, then I know where we're at. If not, I'm going to start sewing in 2 minutes. I know sometimes putting zipper pulls on can be a challenge. It does take practice. I love my fork. I don't have a zipper jig. My husband made me a fancy thing with a fork and I don't know what that's called, a vise or something. All right, we're ready to go. Okay, so is everybody using vinyl as their zipper tabs? I'll show both anyway. So if you are using vinyl, all you're going to do is take your zipper tab and take the shorter side, put it right sides together with each short end. They aren't going to line up perfect. That is okay. We are going to trim that up later, and you're just going to clip that in place. If you are using a fraying fabric, okay, you are going to take your zipper tab. You are going to draw a center line along the line lengthwise, so the longer side. You're going to fold the long ends into the center like this, and then fold it upon itself like this and give that a press, okay? So that has enclosed your raw edges. And then once you have that pressed, you're going to slip your zipper tape in like that and push it right up against that folded edge and clip that in place, okay? So that's if you are using a fraying fabric. I'm doing it not as a fraying fabric. So if this was a fraying fabric, then you would go ahead and you would top stitch through this with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, but you have to make sure that you are catching this other side as well. That's why I don't like doing it with non-fraying fabric, because I always make it really messy, I'm not gonna lie. So that is the difference of what we are going to be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the easy way of doing it with just vinyl. So I'll do it on both pieces. I'm going to cut this a little bit more even here. And then what we're going to do is sew these together, so the right sides together, and we're just going to go a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on all 4 ends, okay? So this isn't going to be seamless. I want to keep my sound. I apologize now. This one. And I obviously bumped my camera. Oh, there we go. Okay. Is my sound still good? So I'm going to show you guys a little trick that I do so I don't have to break my thread so much. Oh my gosh, that was a weird sound that came out of Dexter when Brady got home. So I'm going to start with one. Make sure you do back stitch, and then when you get to the teeth, this does actually help with this. Back stitch over the teeth, and then back stitch at the end again. And then bring your other side over. You can break your thread there if you want. I'm going to just bring my zipper over like this, so I can continuously do it without having to cut my thread all at once. It just saves time. And because I don't have an auto thread cutter on this machine, I like to save time. And then I'm going to take the other zipper and just add it into that. It's like chain stitching and quilting is what we're doing. Sounds good still? Okay, I think I got this figured. Yay! You guys just love being my guinea pigs, don't you? You're awesome. I don't know what I'd do without all of you. You're my favorite part of my sewing journey, I think. Bring the other side over and do that. Again, you can do these all separate. I'm just trying to save on thread because I'm cheap. Okay, so that's both done. And I like to show you guys some little shortcuts that may help. That probably only saved 30 seconds, but I mean, it's 30 seconds, right? Okay. So I am going to turn off this one. Turn on. Turn off this one. Turn on this one. I just got to make sure I do them all in the right order to keep my sound. There we go. You guys feel my pain? I'm going to have to mark which one is which. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to quickly do that right now while I don't forget. So I'm just using whiteout and I'm marking my actual USB thing so I know which one is my camera I want to keep on. That one right there. Okay. All right, and then you can cut your chain stitching apart if you did it like me. Because each of these would have been long things of thread that I would have cut and wasted. Okay. Okay, so everybody let me know when you're there. Don't believe it's already 20 to 6. Crazy. Time flies when you're having fun. Don't stress, Brandy. Cutting out for a few seconds is no big deal. I just wanted you to know. No big deal. I want to be perfect, though. I'm really anal that way. I strive for perfection. I see a cable. You see, I'm still pushing my cables out of the way because I can see them. I appreciate you, Dawn. Thank you. But I think people are having a hard time hearing me at the sewing machine too, because the wrong camera became dominant and the mic isn't hooked up for that camera. So which is easy. I can just switch those cameras around, but then that's moving cords. I don't want to do that. How's everybody making out? I know there's a couple of you working on this now, so I'll wait to hear from, who was it that I have doing this? Kathy, Diane, Kim, Susan, and Linda is watching, so if you have any questions, I think that was all that was sewing along with me today. You appreciate imperfection because it makes you feel less lonely. I am far from perfect, trust me. I make mistakes all the time, and I always try to show you guys my mistakes for that exact reason. There are no perfect sewists out there, trust me. I haven't met one yet anyways. Susan's done. I'll give everybody else a couple more minutes. So when I make pouches, this is how I do all of my zippers. All of them. Diane is done. So Kathy and Kim, let me know where you're at, and then we will continue on. No rush at all, of course. I just don't want to get really, really far ahead of you either. I know that's not fair either, so. It would be so great if we could do these in person though, hey? But I guess this brings all of us from all over the place together, which is awesome as well. I would just like to be able to hear your voices and see your lovely faces. Is anybody going to Sew Magical Expo in September? So we'll have to meet up. Anna and I will be there. I'll give it another minute. Oh no, Kathy, you had to take your pocket apart? What's your zip pocket? Ah, Kim, okay, well, you can just catch up. Contact me if you need it. You're all good though, Kathy? Okay, so now what we're going to do on all four is we're going to push the seam up like so, okay? And see where that seam allowance is on that back? We want to use that as a guide for folding over. So you're going to have a nice solid line there to fold over. So you are going to have a 1/4 inch showing there, and can you see that? You can see my seam is pointing this way and I'm folded over top of that and using that as my guide. So that seam is actually nice and flush with this fold here. And then hold that with some clips. And then what you're going to do is, I know it's longer in the back here, you don't need to worry about that yet, and then you're just going to top stitch through the zip tab with 1/8 inch seam allowance closest to the zipper tape right here. But I'm going to clip all 4 of my sides in together, and then I'm going to do that sewing similar to what we did when we sewed this one on, and I'm going to do that chain sewing to save time. Don't take anything apart until you talk to Brandy. She saved me from a disaster the other day. Oh, did I ever save you, Dawn? And I honestly didn't even know it would work. That's the funny thing. I was guessing. So happy it did work though, because that would have sucked if you lost that bag. Okay, so go ahead and top stitch all 4 of those. And then we will do our handle, and then that'll be class for today. And we've done all of our prep work. Do you know what? This is all the stuff I probably would have ended up saving for homework. But do you know what? It's okay because we've got the time. I think we're learning some new things today. Like the zip tabs I think are new. It worked fantastic. I do some things right, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the machine and I'm going to top stitch those 4 things. All right. This. I've got it figured. I had no choice. I couldn't sew up the sides of the pocket as one side was much too close and didn't have enough seam allowance. So, oh no! I've been there, done that so many times, Kathy. You have no idea. At least it's an easy fix. Okay. So you're zip tabbing. You're zip tabbing here. We are top stitching through the zip tab. And I am going to chain stitch. Now, one thing nice about keeping this nice and long, you know you're catching both sides of that zip tab because we're going to trim the zip tab up later. So we know nothing was missed out. And I do it this way mainly because when I do it the other way, like I showed you, I always don't catch both layers. And I don't know if that's just a me thing, but this is how I manage to not be frustrated with myself. And I think the vinyl just has a lot more strength for the zipper if the zipper pull is going up against it. And I just, in my head, it does anyways. If you guys are all in my head, you know how it works. Okay. So I'm going to turn off this one. I've got this figured out. Just that one. Okay. And then you can cut those apart. Okay, everybody let me know when you're there. And again, I walk through the tutorial this exact same way, so it's a you thing too, Dawn. I'm so not used to working with colored zipper tape. This is new for me. It's pretty. So yeah, we got a perfect amount of time to finish these up, and then we're going to do the handle because we do it just a little bit different than how we do them before. So Diana's good to go. You like the color? I think Emmeline and Blue Calla both sell colored zipper tape. I actually have a feeling this might be Blue Calla. I think I've got a whole bunch of colored stuff in nickel, and I have a feeling I ordered years ago. You know how Blue Calla has the bundles of colors where you got like 6 colors? So I think that's what I did, but I can't remember for sure. Susan's ready. We'll just wait for Kathy. And Kim, you know you can message me. Message me anyways. You sound like you need a shoulder, so we can talk. I mean, you guys listen to me all the time, except you actually get to hear my voice. Okay, we're ready. So now we're going to flip these so they're wrong side up. And you can see how we got the extra vinyl there. So you're going to cut within 1/8 of an inch, just the vinyl, not the zipper, but 1/8 of an inch away from that stitching. Just trim it up. Like so. Same with this one. And this is what I mean, where this guarantees that you catch both sides. Oh, Coco, do you know what? Dave's just pulling in right now. So you're going to hear Coco's daddy bark because she's happy her daddy's home. And she's going to be, oh, you hear Dexter too? Dexter does not have the hound bark. I think I'm glad of that. Then once you have that trimmed up, you can go ahead and trim your zipper tabs up so they're the same width as your zipper tape. And then we can put those aside for next week. Be nice not having to prep these next week. Yeah, I don't know what I'm asking for. Hey, Kim, we're friends. I don't mind helping friends. All right, so that's those done, and you can go ahead and put those away. And I think we have just enough time to do our handle. So I'll give everybody a couple minutes to finish that up, and then we're going to move on to the handle quick, and then we're going to call it a day. Unless you guys want to call it a day now, and we'll do the handle next week. I leave it up to you. Sorry for my puppies. So what do you guys think? Move forward with the handle or leave this till next week? This will take like 5 minutes. Aw, Kim. Oh my gosh. I really got to talk to Dave. You want to do the handles? Okay. So everybody let me know when you're ready, and then we will power through this handle. It'll be really fast. It's just like how we do most handles with a slight difference because we don't want any raw edges. Oh, they're all rushing to the door now to see Daddy. The stairs to go upstairs are like right beside me here, so that's why it probably sounds like people falling down the stairs, but it's really just the dogs. Okay, so Dawn and Diane say handles. How are we doing, Susan and Kathy? We ready for handles? We actually got quite a bit done. We did pretty good. And there's no homework, unless you want to put red rivets in it. So, okay, Kathy's ready. How are you doing, Susan? Ready to go. Okay, so on the back side of our handle piece, we've already, when we cut this out, put our center lines. We cut these 4 inches by, I don't remember, 11 inches. What we also want to do is on the 2 short sides, you want to make a 1/2 inch line. And what we're doing is we're going to be folding in those raw edges. Okay. I'm going to use double-sided tape. You can definitely use clips instead, as you know. I'm going to put along that 1/2 inch line. I'm sorry for the mayhem that's my upstairs right now. And then we're going to fold the short edges into that 1/2 inch line. So that is folding over 1/4 of an inch in all. I mean, you could leave that raw if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. But I'm not, usually on my handles, I put a strap ends. But for this bag, strap ends I think are just too fancy. I mean, this is a makeup bag. It's not a bag like a purse. You can definitely do it if you like. I'm just thinking cost-wise for myself because I want to keep a makeup bag, my retail lower. So the least amount of bling I use on a bag such as this, I don't have to charge as much for, right? Then once you have those ends folded in, then you're going to go ahead and fold the long edges into that center line. And that'll enclose all of those raw edges. So this bag I priced out, I actually think I've already got either this blue ones or the teal one sold, or she's going to be ordering a custom one, and I'm charging $150 Canadian for it. So it's a little less than, say, my other bags. My other bags range from anywhere from $165 to $225 Canadian. So the makeup bag, it has a lot less for guts and everything like that, and a lot less hardware, so I can have my price down quite a bit, as it only costs me about $50 to make. So I usually take my cost and multiply it by 3 and look at that number and see if that's what I can sell the bag for. Okay, so now we're going to fold those long edges into here. I hope that was okay to talk to you guys about. I know many of you messaged me about pricing, and that's how I figure it out. And if a client comes to me and says they have a certain budget but they want a certain bag, because my bags go up based on different vinyls they want or whatever, they all have a base price, but I can make it so I can maybe not use strap ends and fold in those sides rather than using the strap ends, and cut back on some of the hardware to try to make their goal of what they can afford. So anyways, I'm getting chatty. Okay, so once you have those folded into the center, just like any handle, you're going to fold that in half again and hold the sides with clips. And then we're going to go ahead and top stitch around all 4 sides with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. And again, if you are on a machine like mine that is temperamental with tension, make sure you double check that the tension looks good on both sides, because it is going to show. So yes, so I'm going to start down here and go all the way around with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then that will be our handle. Yay, good class. Check my tension. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm good with this thickness, but we'll double check it again. Yep, I'm good. So I usually start on the short end that's coming down to my clip side. Oops, got my clip stuck in there. And then I go down my folded side, or mark where my clips are. And you can do your handle stitching. If you want to do some decorative stitching, go ahead. I always do mine the same, so. And in the pattern, she does it just by taking it and folding it in half and then having raw edges, but not me. Her way's good too. I just don't want raw edges myself. And the back stitch at the end. Of course, I messed up my camera again. Here we go. There we go. And then again, because I am using bonded thread, I am going to take my lighter to it and just make sure it's not going to fray. Careful not to burn your vinyl too much. And it looks good on both sides, so that's ready to go for next week as well. And that's it. That was actually kind of fun switching things up this class. Maybe we should do that more often. I should surprise you guys with what we're going to work on that day. So next week, primarily, I think most of the time, at least a whole good hour of it is going to be doing the flap. The flap is the thing that takes the longest to do. And then we may get our linings and our exteriors together. And then the following week, we will be sewing up the sides and boxing the corners and all that, unless we get that done next week. I don't think we will get that far next week. But I do think that the last class will not be a full class. Look at that, 5:59, pretty good, hey? So any questions about class? Was it a good class? Did everybody like how it flowed? Thank you so much for those understanding us doing a review class. I think it was really, really, really good to do the review class. I think so there's been so many new members since joining, and I know only a handful are in the chat, but trust me, there are quite a few more members that do watch this. So for those members that are joining us later or are in the background, I hope that doing that review really, really did help. And again, feel free, if you have any questions, to shoot me an email or message me on Facebook, or even though the event looks like it's ended, we can still post in it. Facebook is just silly. So make sure you go to that Facebook event and share your progress so far. I want to see your fabrics. I want to see what you guys are working on. Use the chat that's available in there to reach out to your peers. And I'm here for you. I'm starving. My stomach is growling. Awesomeness. Okay, well, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for coming and sewing along with me today. I really do look forward to classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, even when I just woke up from a class or a nap just before coming in. But yes, no homework unless you're putting rivets in that slip pocket. Then that takes you like 5 minutes to do. Otherwise, no homework unless you're catching up on the class. And then I will see a lot of you on Tuesday for the second Blanche class. And I'll see everybody else on Thursday. And if you are around 9 a.m. my time, which is Pacific time, noon Eastern time, make sure you pop into the live I'm having, because Miss Anna of Galaxy Customs is going to be on screen with me. Not here, she's in Ontario, but we will be side-by-side screen. I'll be using my StreamYard program to do that, and we're going to do a show and shop of her new vinyls right when they're launching. I'm super, super excited. I'm going to have 2 screens going so you can see this and I can order my stuff. So yeah, anyways, have a great night, everybody. I'll talk to you guys soon and catch you later.